Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with your comrades, the deafening roar of cannon fire filling the air, the acrid scent of gunpowder burning your nostrils. The ground beneath you trembles as cavalry charges thunder across the battlefield. This was the reality for soldiers during the Napoleonic Wars, a relentless test of endurance, courage, and survival. The call to arms. The Napoleonic Wars, spanning from 1803 to 1815, saw the mobilization of vast armies across Europe. For many, joining Napoleon's Grande Armée was not a matter of choice. Young men from various walks of life, farmers, artisans, and laborers, were drafted to serve the ambitions of the French Empire. The training was rigorous and unrelenting. Recruits underwent extensive drills to master the use of muskets, bayonets, and artillery. Discipline was enforced strictly, with severe punishments for insubordination. The transformation from civilian to soldier was swift and often brutal. Uniforms, though designed to instill pride and unity, were often impractical. Heavy woolen coats, tight-fitting trousers, and cumbersome shakos, military hats, were ill-suited for the diverse climates soldiers encountered. Footwear was a particular concern. Napoleon himself was troubled by the poor quality of soldiers' shoes, understanding that the army's mobility depended on their condition. Despite efforts to improve supplies, many soldiers marched in ill-fitting or worn-out shoes, leading to blisters, infections, and debilitating foot injuries. The pay was meager. A French infantryman earned about 10 sous per day, barely enough to cover basic necessities. This paltry sum underscored the hardships faced by those who served. But this was just the beginning. The battlefield experience. Combat during the Napoleonic Wars was a cacophony of chaos and carnage. Massed infantry formations, cavalry charges, and relentless artillery bombardments characterized battles. Soldiers faced the constant threat of death or grievous injury. Jakob Walter, a German conscript in Napoleon's Grande Armée. Jakob Walter, a stonemason from Württemberg, was conscripted into Napoleon's army and participated in campaigns across Europe, including the infamous invasion of Russia in 1812. In his memoirs, Walter provides a vivid description of the hardships faced during the retreat from Moscow. From Smolensk to Meshchesk, the war displayed its horrible work of destruction. All the roads, fields, and woods lay as though sown with people, horses, wagons, burned villages, and cities. Everything looked like the complete ruin of all that lived. Walter's account offers a rare glimpse into the life of a common soldier enduring one of the most grueling campaigns of the Napoleonic Wars. The infantry, the backbone of Napoleon's forces, fought in linear formations. They advanced in ranks, muskets leveled, delivering volleys of fire before engaging in brutal bayonet charges. The effectiveness of these tactics relied heavily on discipline and cohesion. Artillery played a pivotal role. Cannons unleashed devastating barrages, tearing through enemy lines and sowing terror among the ranks. The psychological impact of artillery fire was immense. The sight of comrades being obliterated by cannonballs was enough to shake even the most steadfast soldiers. Cavalry units added to the battlefield's dynamism. Mounted soldiers executed swift flanking maneuvers, exploiting breaches in enemy formations. The thunderous approach of cavalry was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, often determining the battle's outcome. Amidst the chaos, soldiers had to navigate the fog of war. Communication was limited to shouted commands, drumbeats, and bugle calls. Misunderstandings were common, leading to disarray and unintended engagements. The aftermath of battle presented its own horrors. Battlefields were strewn with the dead and dying. The wounded faced grim prospects. Medical knowledge was rudimentary, and surgeries, such as amputations, were performed without anesthesia. Infections were rampant, and many succumbed to their injuries in makeshift field hospitals. Others survived to tell their tales and receive battle honors. Jean-Roch, from conscription to the Imperial Guard. Jean-Roch, born in 1776, was a soldier whose life became a testament to courage, resilience, and the grit of Napoleon's Imperial Guard. Conscripted into the French army in 1799, he quickly found himself in the heart of some of history's most legendary battles, from Marengo to Austerlitz, and ultimately Waterloo. His memoirs vividly captured the brutal realities of war, the unbreakable bonds between soldiers, and the weight of history on the shoulders of those who lived it. One of the most defining moments of Cognet's military career came at the Battle of Montebello, where, against all odds, he single-handedly captured an Austrian cannon. This extraordinary act of bravery earned him an award reserved for soldiers who displayed exceptional valor. "I received a musket of honor for single-handedly capturing an Austrian cannon at the Battle of Montebello," he later wrote, a statement that barely scratches the surface of the sheer determination and fearlessness required for such a feat. His memoirs offer more than just battlefield accounts. They provide a rare and personal glimpse into the life of a common soldier rising through the ranks in Napoleon's formidable army. Through his eyes, we witness the hardships of relentless campaigns, the triumphs of hard-won victories, and the deep-seated loyalty that defined the men who fought alongside him. His writings remain an invaluable historical record, shedding light on the human side of war and the indomitable spirit of the Imperial Guard. Benjamin Randall Harris, A Rifleman's Perspective. Though not fighting for the French side, Benjamin Randall Harris, a rifleman in the British 95th Regiment of Foot, provides a rare and vivid account of life as a soldier during the Peninsular War, 1807 to 1814. His memoirs, The Recollections of Rifleman Harris, offer a first-hand perspective on the brutal realities of war, including grueling marches, relentless combat, and the struggle for survival in harsh conditions. Unlike the grand strategic overviews given by generals, Harris's account focuses on the daily lives, camaraderie, and hardships faced by ordinary soldiers. One of the most harrowing episodes Harris describes is the retreat to Corunna, 1808 to 1809, a grueling withdrawal of Sir John Moore's army in the face of advancing French forces under Marshal Soult. The British troops, heavily outnumbered and ill-equipped for the brutal winter conditions, were forced to march hundreds of miles across the rugged terrain of northwestern Spain. "We were now in a most deplorable condition, worn down with fatigue and privation of every kind." Harris's words capture the sheer exhaustion, hunger, and suffering experienced by the retreating troops. Many soldiers succumbed to the cold, starvation, or disease, while others collapsed from fatigue and were left behind, only to be captured or killed by the pursuing French army. Civilians and camp followers, including women and children who accompanied the army, endured equally horrific hardships. Life as a rifleman in the 95th Regiment. The 95th Rifles were among the first British units to be equipped with a Baker rifle, a weapon that gave them a significant advantage over traditional musket-wielding line infantry. Trained in skirmishing, marksmanship, and guerrilla-style tactics, Harris and his fellow riflemen operated in loose formations, harassing enemy forces from a distance. Unlike the bright redcoats of regular infantry, the 95th wore distinctive green uniforms, allowing them to blend into their surroundings. This unconventional warfare set them apart, and their expertise was instrumental in battles such as Roliça, Vimiero, and the Long Peninsular Campaign. The importance of Harris's memoirs. Harris's account is invaluable because it provides a soldier's eye view of the Napoleonic Wars, detailing not only battles but also camp life, training, interactions with local populations, and the bonds between fellow riflemen. His recollections contrast starkly with the grand strategies of commanders, instead emphasizing the brutality, exhaustion, and camaraderie that defined a soldier's existence. His memoirs, dictated later in life, remain a crucial historical resource, shedding light on the grit, determination, and sacrifices of the men who fought in one of the most intense conflicts of the early 19th century. Daily life and hardships. When not engaged in combat, soldiers endured grueling marches. The Grande Armée was renowned for its rapid movements, often covering vast distances to outmaneuver enemies. Soldiers marched for hours, burdened with heavy packs containing their gear, rations, and personal belongings. At the end of a grueling day, establishing a camp was both a necessity and a respite. Soldiers constructed improvised shelters using available materials such as branches, leaves, and straw. Tents were scarce, and many had to sleep under the open sky, exposed to the elements. Rations were basic and often insufficient. A typical daily allowance included bread, salted meat, and wine or brandy. However, supply lines were unreliable, and soldiers frequently resorted to foraging or requisitioning food from local populations. This practice strained relations with civilians and sometimes led to skirmishes. Camp life offered brief respites. Evenings around campfires were moments of rest and camaraderie. Soldiers sang songs, shared stories, and played games to lift their spirits, and those who could read and write penned letters home or recorded their experiences in diaries. These activities provided a semblance of normalcy amidst the hardships. Hygiene was a constant challenge. Opportunities for bathing were rare, and lice infestations were common. Diseases such as typhus and dysentery spread rapidly in the unsanitary conditions, claiming more lives than combat. Shelters varied depending on the campaign. In favorable weather, soldiers slept under the stars or constructed rudimentary shelters from branches and foliage. In harsher climates, they sought refuge in barns, abandoned buildings, or dugouts. The lack of proper shelter contributed to illnesses and lowered morale. Medical care during this era was rudimentary. Field hospitals were often overwhelmed, and surgeries, such as amputations, were performed without anesthesia, leading to excruciating pain and high mortality rates. Infections were rampant due to unhygienic conditions, and diseases like typhus and dysentery claimed more lives than combat. Discipline and morale. Maintaining discipline was paramount. Punishments for infractions were severe, including flogging or even execution. Despite these harsh measures, the camaraderie among soldiers often served as a buffer against the hardships they faced, fostering a sense of brotherhood and shared purpose. Brotherhood and comradeship. Despite the relentless hardships, a profound sense of camaraderie flourished among soldiers. The shared difficulties of military life, arduous marches, brutal combat, and the constant specter of death created profound connections that transcended individual backgrounds. Within Napoleon's Grande Armée, soldiers from diverse origins found unity through shared experiences. The relentless demands of military campaigns, from enduring harsh weather during long marches to facing formidable foes on the battlefield, fostered a profound sense of fraternity. This camaraderie was not merely incidental, but essential for survival and maintaining morale. Soldiers depended on each other for safety, support, and companionship, leading to the formation of deep, enduring friendships. The concept of brothers in arms became a lived reality, with soldiers forming close-knit groups that provided both emotional and practical support amidst the chaos of war. Dominique Jean-Roch, the chief surgeon of the Grande Armée, exemplified the deep bonds of brotherhood that could develop within the army. Known for his innovative medical practices and unwavering dedication, Roier earned the profound respect and affection of the soldiers. During the harrowing retreat from Russia in 1812, Roier faced immense personal danger while tending to the wounded. At the Berezina River crossing, amidst chaos and a collapsing bridge, soldiers recognized Roier and, recalling his relentless care for them, lifted him over their heads to ensure his safety across the river. This spontaneous act highlighted the deep mutual respect and camaraderie between Roier and the soldiers he served. Such instances underscored that the brotherhood among Napoleonic soldiers was not merely a fact of their existence, but a fundamental element that influenced their actions and the outcomes of battles. The mentorship provided by veterans ensured that the values of duty, honor, and camaraderie were passed down, sustaining the esprit de corps essential for enduring the hardships of war. The life of a Napoleonic soldier was a complex tapestry woven with threads of valor, hardship, camaraderie, and sacrifice. These men endured grueling marches, faced the horrors of battle, and navigated the challenges of daily military life with resilience. Their experiences on and off the battlefield not only shaped the outcomes of the Napoleonic Wars, but also left an indelible mark on military history. Understanding their stories provides a profound insight into the human aspects of warfare during this tumultuous period, honoring the legacy of those who marched, fought, and lived under Napoleon's eagle standard. How would you like to get a deeper understanding of history, impress your friends, and predict the future more accurately based on past events? If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the first link in the description. To learn more about the Napoleonic Wars, check out the book, The Napoleonic Wars, an enthralling guide to global conflict, revolutionary tactics, and the empire's expansion. It's available as an ebook, paperback, and audiobook. If you found the video captivating, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.